Welcome to the Midwest Game Nerds Podcast. I'm your host, John, and here with me today are Brian.
Hey.
And Alex.
Hello.
Today we've got some game news, and Alex is going to tell you how amazing the Inpatient is, and we're going to give you our thoughts on the Sea of Thieves beta. But before we get to all of that, if you want to follow us on social media or see all the places you can listen to or watch the show, check out MidwestGameNerds.com/links. And as always, we do appreciate feedback, which you can send to MidwestGameNerds@gmail.com. And don't forget to follow us on Twitch, as well as rate and review us on your favorite podcatcher. We played a couple of things too. I know Brian wanted to talk about Prey, right?
Yeah, finally dove into that.
Quite a bit, yeah.
Yeah, about 15 hours worth.
We do kind of have some feedback, too. The first piece of feedback is from somebody with the initials BD, and it says, you guys are dicks for not letting me talk about my most anticipated games of 2018. So,
yeah.
Brian, what are you anticipating for 2018 real quick?
I forgot since last episode.
He's anticipating playing some more Prey.
Sea of Thieves, I believe, was the main thing.
Okay.
And Shadow of the Colossus, because I never got to play that back in the day.
Yeah.
And I've always heard it's amazing, and it seems like a game I would probably like. Beyond that, I'm not particularly sold that Anthem is going to be good, and I knew it wasn't going to come out this year, and now that's been confirmed. So, but I am curious about
We don't have to buy John his
Quiet
copy.
now. Quiet now.
Anyway, sorry about that, Brian.
That's all right.
It gives me time to save up for all the loot boxes I'm going to have to buy when it comes out. So.
That's all I can think of at the moment.
Okay.
No, that's cool. What about
Red Dead if it comes out?
Yeah,
probably.
I don't think that's coming out either. But of course, that would be on my list.
Yeah. All right. Well, what about Prey? You've dove into Prey quite a bit lately, and I know you're kind of excited about that. So why don't you give me?
Yeah, I mean it's fun. It's very much like styled after System Shock 2.
Yeah, slower
Deus
moving.
Ex, those kind of games. Like the old school grid inventory management, where like a shotgun takes up 3 spots and a can of soda or whatever takes up 1 slot.
Yeah.
All the cool upgrades and stuff. About, several hours into the game, you get an entirely new upgrade tree.
Yeah.
That's
is
cool. All like, I don't even know what they're called, like Typhons or whatever the hell.
Yeah, like the alien abilities.
You can start getting those, but what's cool is you have this thing called a psychoscope, I think it is, and you as you examine enemies and scan them, you unlock abilities in that tree that you can upgrade.
That's pretty cool.
But there's also like an element where you kind of have to balance like how powerful you want to be with those abilities.
Yeah.
With how much danger you're putting yourself in. Because if you upgrade to a certain threshold, it spawns this ridiculous enemy called the Nightmare. And he will be out there for like 2.5 minutes straight looking for you. And the thing's fucking huge and scary. And will just stomp you into the ground in like 1 hit.
It's like Mr. X from Resident Evil.
Yeah.
So you have to you just have to avoid him for 2.5 minutes and then he'll go away. But that, I think, happens every single time you get an upgrade beyond that point in that tree.
That's interesting.
There's a lot of really cool mechanics in it that are pretty unique. Like, I really like the fabrication system. Basically, you can take all the shit you find in the world, like junk that's like old banana peels or pieces of paper and
circuit boards and stuff.
Yeah, circuit boards, hard drives, whatever. Garbage. You can
And
take all the garbage.
Scrap all of it,
it's
right?
worth like a certain percentage, like
of a material.
Of a material type. And then also like the Typhon like organs and stuff. If you have the right upgrades in your tree, you can recycle those too.
Sweet.
Into exotic materials, which you can turn into, you can fabricate neuromods with those, which those are what give you your upgrades in your skill tree.
Yeah.
But like the recycling thing is just super cool because you just dump all this crap into a bin and then all these little colored cubes come out the other side. And then you pick those up and you take them to the fabrication center and you're like, okay, I want to
turn them all into shotgun shells.
And then you see all the little cubes fit perfectly into this little grid. And it's just very satisfying for whatever reason.
Right on.
And then it drops out whatever item you want.
I was just happy for the ability to make lots of shotgun shells in that game.
Yeah. It took me a long time to find that schematic, by the way. And it was like, Yeah, I was getting a little worried because I was running into like more difficult enemies, and I had maybe like 4 shotgun shells left. Because resources are definitely very limited in
Yeah.
that game.
You have to you really need to partake in the recycling in order to like.
The other really cool thing is they have recycle grenades. So like if you can't find one of those machines for a while, you can just pile all your shit on the ground and throw a grenade at it, and it pops a bunch of cubes out.
That's awesome.
You can also use that to remove certain types of obstacles and shit that can be recycled.
You can also recycle things that you would use in order to make other things.
You can throw, like, if you find extra guns and stuff, you can recycle those too.
Or if you're like not partaking in like, if you were like, I don't need any more upgrades, you could just recycle the neuromods too. So.
Yeah. It's got a pretty good creepy vibe to it. I like the music. I like the sounds. The sound effects are great. Voice acting is pretty good. The story is interesting because it's like you can't really trust anybody or anything going on, because I mean basically the premise is you are stuck in like this isn't that much of a spoiler or anything, because I mean you figure it out pretty early on that you were stuck in a simulation for like a year or something, I think. And basically that's just to test or grow those powers that you get from the aliens. And then at one point, somebody, you don't really know for sure, like breaks you out of that cycle. And then you're kind of just like wandering the station and trying to figure out who you can trust, because you have like, there's operators, they're like machines, but they're AI machines, whatever. You have 2 of those trying to help you, but you don't know which one's actually good. And your brother's still alive on on the ship somewhere, or maybe off the ship at that point, station. And like he's trying to tell you a different thing, so you don't know who's telling the actual truth. But yeah, it's fun. I'm curious to see where it leads.
Sounds like this game, just because it got off on the wrong foot, no one's ever going to give it the chance it needs, like now. But
no, I was in the same boat. Like I hated the demo when I tried it on PS4.
It'll be a cult classic, much like System Shock and those sorts of games have become.
Yeah,
maybe further down the line.
I've heard a lot of people playing it and being like, "It's so good." And when I was playing, like when we went to review it, I got very close. Like I got the just kind of the gameplay loops that really worked for me, and I was getting the abilities that I liked, and I was like, I really like this, but it doesn't feel very good on console.
Yeah, it feels so much better on
with the mouse and keyboard.
Yeah, it's perfect with the mouse and keyboard.
So like that was the main problem for me. If I would have picked it up on PC, I probably would have been all about it. But I think there are people paying it respect, but it didn't quite.
It seems very long.
It stumbled It kind of stumbled it out of the gate, essentially.
Right.
And that certainly...
There's also zero gravity segments, which are pretty wild.
Yeah. It's very easy to get disoriented.
Oh, yeah.
Lose your way. I mean, similar to like Rainbow Six, I remember when Rainbow Six came out, people were like, this game's kind of stupid. Because you're like, it's all microtransactions with like points that you get in the game. And now it's got a bigger fan base than it ever did in its first year. It just keeps growing. So it's weird that we're having this like revisionist history of video games when people can apply patches and be like, oh, well, No Man's Sky, for example.
Right.
It's a completely different game than it was when it originally came out.
Prey definitely needs some more patches. Like it's polished enough to play, but that game has crashed on me twice, like out of nowhere. No message or anything, just straight to the desktop. And twice out of 15 hours is tolerable. But
maybe the little shadow
also had
monsters are taking over your computer.
with like enemies getting stuck in walls.
Yeah.
And that's kind of irritating, but they're few and far between. I just hope they fix that stuff.
Yeah. Right on. Anything else that you played? Lots of PUBG.
Yeah, I started playing a lot more PUBG. I've been streaming on my account, which is Eldest Goat on Twitch.
So when you're adding Midwest Gamers on Twitch, also add Eldest Goat.
Yes.
Yeah, I've been streaming like maybe 4 or 5 days a week.
Yeah.
Just for half hour, whatever.
Yeah,
or longer.
Corey seems to enjoy watching you play because he likes your
I
your
was
rage.
super close to getting my second chicken dinner, my only solo one, and then I killed myself with a grenade.
Yeah,
That was funny.
that's awesome.
That's recorded if anybody wants to watch that and look at and laugh at me. But I still really enjoy that game, and it's nice that I've been able to play again since there's actually a couple people that want to play now
Right.
because everybody else gave up on it.
Yeah, I'll play.
But,
Sorry, Brian.
I'm down for whatever. I'll play it.
It's always a
You'll have to get
interesting
another
experience.
crossbow expert that only ever got one kill with a crossbow.
Hey, I got 2 kills in one match with a crossbow.
Good job.
Anyways, Alex, what about you?
Really haven't had that much time to play anything, but after finishing up the Inpatient, I tried out a VR game that I bought a while ago called Static Institute of Retention.
Okay.
Static with a K at the end.
I think that's the one Jason keeps telling me to
That's
check
edgy.
out. Yeah.
Jason told me about it, and I was like, "Oh, that sounds really cool." So I ended up picking it up. I think it was on sale at some point. But, so basically, I don't think you can play it with move controllers, but your character has its hands inside of like a suitcase, and on the outside of that suitcase are a bunch of contraptions, and you have to figure out how to accomplish certain things that the game wants you to accomplish with essentially no hand holding at all. You just have to sit there and fiddle with the buttons to figure out what they do and kind of intuit from clues in the room around you to try and figure it out.
Interesting.
You're in an institute where they're studying you, trying to figure out these puzzles.
Okay.
I got through most of them yesterday in a span of like 2 hours maybe, but they're very compelling and they're a lot of fun and they make me feel really smart and
Like The Witness.
like The Witness, absolutely. And I think it's out on Vive as well as PSVR. So if you have access to one of those two things, you should check it out. On the PSVR, at least, I don't know about the Vive. It takes advantage of the social screen experience.
Okay.
I think there are 2-player puzzles
Oh, cool.
to complete with another person on the outside,
That's
but I
sweet.
didn't get a chance to try any of those out.
When the Rift runs games, it runs them on the monitor as well.
Yeah, I don't know why it couldn't do that, but I haven't really heard of anything where you could use another outside controller.
Right.
So I don't know. It might be possible, but other than that, I think that's about all that I've really played.
You want to talk about the Inpatient? I feel like we
I
could
think
just
Alex
squeeze
is thinking, do I have to?
we could just squeeze it into this segment because you're talking about
Game
it.
of the
Alright.
year, right?
I haven't really played much of anything else. Anyway,
We're going to
so.
talk about The Inpatient. The Inpatient is a PSVR exclusive prequel to Until Dawn, a game that came out on PS4
that we all love.
by Supermassive Games that we talked about and loved. I was pretty pumped for this. We saw videos of it at E3 and PSX or whatever, essentially, and it just looked like Until Dawn with VR. And it's pretty
Not.
bad. Like, it's just not good.
Yeah.
It's essentially a 2-hour movie for you to watch.
From within the movie.
From within the
basically.
movie. And you can, like, walk around the environment at the slowest speed possible. Like, there's no way to go fast at all. But you can walk around and, like, look at items that show you memories of what happened in the past. And in the past, I mean, like, from before the 40 years previous that the game actually takes place in.
Right.
But it's about, like, the closing of the sanatorium that's in the game in Until Dawn. I tried it with the Move controllers, and I tried it with the PlayStation 4 DualShock controller, and neither way feels good because you can kind of manage movement and turning better with the actual DualShock 4, but it still uses motion controls to control the hand to, like, hit buttons and, like
So you find yourself using the controller to, like...
Yeah, and it's real bad.
That's weird.
Like, it made it made me. There's a part, I'm gonna spoil part of it because whatever. There's a part at the end of the game where you're in an elevator that gets kind of stuck,
Yeah.
and you're trying to go to certain floors, and I was all over the place on that thing. Like, I was trying to get to floor 2, but I'd put my arm out, and it would think that I'm hitting, like, the door close button, but then I would like try and move it up and it would hit the second floor button, but then I'd also come back down and hit the basement 1 button. It was really bad. Like, it didn't make any sense. So in that sense, the move controllers work a lot better because you're actually using your hand. You have that fine-grained control of it, but you have to like hold the move button on the right hand and then turn it in order to turn your character, and you turn back to stop. It's like you're using like a big wooden ship steering wheel to turn a person, which makes no sense.
Yeah.
But all in all, I can't even tell you what the story was. I don't know what they were trying to show me.
Are you sure you finished it?
I'm 100% sure I finished it. I kind of get it, but I don't.
That doesn't make...
And it's just really baffling.
How did that happen?
I don't know.
Is it a different development
The B team?
Who's running
like
the team
in
would be
the
interesting
studio
to
or
know.
no?
I don't know. I honestly couldn't tell you, but it's just...
I mean, Until Dawn was so good.
It was
unexpectedly so in some ways.
I was playing this at midnight to 1 in the morning. Here's what I will say. They're very good about making atmosphere. They're very good at jump scares. They're very good at creeping me out. But the problem with creeping me out...
But that's not enough for like a game.
The problem with creeping me out in a game where you're supposed to be encouraged to look around and find objects... I'm not going to find those things because I'm just going to beeline it to the end of the hallway that I'm running down.
Right.
And that's all this game is. You could call this Hallway Runner Simulator 2018 and sell it to a new audience because I think that's what it's more effectively.
Creepy hallway simulator.
Yeah, creepy, yes. Haunted House Simulator 2018. Package it and put it on Steam because that's making a lot of money. But I don't know.
Nobody's going to buy that.
No. The thing is, they want you to sit there and not only go and find all these things, but they want you to replay it because the butterfly effect system is in effect here too. So you do make choices with what your character says to the people talking to him, and I'll get into that in a second. But the game is so excruciating to play and boring that I don't want to
just not
put myself through that again. And the only other thing that is kind of unique is that you can use voice to respond to questions.
Yeah.
Somebody will talk to you, and then it'll present you with 2 options, and you can speak whichever one of the lines that you want to speak.
That's cool.
So that was nice, and that was interesting, but that's...
So if you're the type that reads things out loud before deciding...
you gotta quiet yourself down a little. You can flip that off, too. You can... Because
why would you? It's such a unique feature.
It is, but the other thing you
further
can
proof
do,
that they should have put shouting into Skyrim VR.
you can just look at the option that you want and hold the trigger, and it'll use it. But certainly not worth $39.99. Barely worth $4.99.
Damn.
And
cuts.
It's not good. It's really disappointing.
That's a bummer because I think the entire. Until Dawn has become a huge game. Like people really like that game, and for them to shell this out and just kind of plop it on everyone's doorstep, I feel like they're letting a fan base down pretty hard.
It's really disappointing too because it's a VR game and there's not a lot of those out there.
It feels really telling to me that it's not Until Dawn : The Inpatient.
Right.
Like they were scared to put that name on it, which is stupid because they put out Rush of Blood. Which is fine. It's a fine shooter, like on-rails shooter carnival ride.
Yeah. And it has nothing to do with the game.
It's just like ride through the environments.
It has similar like character models and things.
Yeah, but it doesn't have anything to do with any of the characters in that.
It has the creepy-ass mask and the clowns and yada yada.
So it's like, the fact that they would be scared to put the name on it, but they wouldn't be scared to put it on like a rail shooter.
Right.
I don't know. I think it kind of speaks volumes, but
yeah,
I'm bummed. I was hoping with the extra time that they had that maybe they were just fine-tuning things to make it better, but
maybe they made it worse.
I think
was that delayed at some point?
It was delayed because it was supposed to come out in October, I think, or something like that. Later,
probably.
Well, they were probably like, well, if we drop it in the winter, we'll get somebody to buy this crappy game because there's nothing else to buy.
Yeah, and that, I mean,
if they put it
congratulations,
out in October,
I bought the game.
People would have complained and gotten refunds and bought something else.
It's Well, they can't complain because it's only 2 hours. You can go play something else after giving them $40 for
Right.
nothing. But
Okay.
no, it's
But
not
that's
good.
2 hours you could have been playing the Sea of Thieves
It is.
beta, and that probably makes you sad.
You know, whatever.
That noise.
Or
It's just
Rainbow
a
Six.
It was a very Tim Long noise actually. But no, it's a beta. I don't really want to invest in the beta per se, but we'll talk more about that later. So that's the
person that was
Inpatient.
playing it when we got here.
that I just wanted to confirm my feelings on the control scheme.
okay.
But anyway, that's the Inpatient. Don't buy it ever.
Don't.
Period.
Just don't do it.
Don't spend your time to play this game for free.
We want to do news last? Or do we want to do news now?
Well, let's just work through news real quick.
All right, let's
Yeah,
work
won't
through
take
news real
long.
quick. What's the first news bit?
First news bit. We've got the Xbox Game Pass now gets new Microsoft games on day one. Brian.
Yes.
Your
that
feelings on this
is
matter.
exactly what the case is.
Yeah.
And that is amazing. That means games like Sea of Thieves, which is out, I believe, March 20th.
Yep.
Is included in this deal. So you spend $10 a month, $9.99 to be specific, but and that gets you Sea of Thieves on day one and other Microsoft exclusives coming out like Crackdown 3 and
State of Decay 2.
State of Decay 2.
Presumably,
That'll also include probably any further or future Gears of War's games or
Halos.
Halo, Fable. Supposedly there is another Fable in the works.
Yeah.
Plus all the other games that are already included in the pass. There's like 100 or more of them, I want to say.
Mhm.
And a lot of them are good. They might be older. Some of them are 360 games, but yeah, it's a pretty good deal. And they will work on PC as well if they have the Play Anywhere stipulation, which Sea of Thieves does, and Sea of Thieves plays very well on PC.
Yeah, so any of the like first party Microsoft games that have been playable on PC that are on there already can be played on PC as well as on your Xbox. The other thing, like the thing to note here that's impressive to me, this is $10 a month, and if they put out 2 games a year, Sea of Thieves and what's the other one? Crackdown 3. If Crackdown 3 is actually a video game and it comes out this year, then you break even
Yeah.
with those 2 games essentially, but not on top of that, you've got all of the other video games on the service.
I believe, like State of Decay 2, I believe has an actual date for this year, right?
Okay, I think so. I think it does. I believe that's more of a video game than Crackdown is.
And
but
I mean, it's almost guaranteed there will be a new Forza Horizon game in the fall too, even though they haven't released any info about it.
I heard it might be in Japan, which is awesome.
That's that was where I was guessing it might be. That would be amazing.
I hope that's true because I would buy that.
Yeah, that would be so good.
Spring 2018 is what we have for State of Decay 2.
Okay,
cool.
No finite.
date. But
I forgot about that game. I am looking forward to that because it has the multiplayer in it that I really wanted to be in the first one.
Right.
But no, that's really cool. And I mean, props to them. Like, it smells a little bit of like desperation of like, we need to do something to make people excited about Xbox
and to maybe buy an Xbox One X.
Yeah, but this is kind of cool, and it doesn't require you to buy an Xbox One X to really take.
The only thing that kind of sucks
of
about it is that you have to pay. You're paying for Xbox Live Gold too and Game Pass. Like, it's the sort of thing where like it'd be nice if like because you have Gold you get a discount on Game Pass or something like that.
I mean, they should go back to tiers. Like they used to have what they would call. I swear they had just Silver or something before, which was like the free Xbox.
Yeah, you didn't get
online
anything
stuff.
special out of it, but you could play online with your friends.
I'm starting to think that maybe they should just have a tiered system in general.
Well, and that's
like
kind of what we
Silver
talked
and
about
Gold.
with like PlayStation Now and PlayStation Plus as well. Like, if they figured out a way to wrap all of these things together and kind of discount it a bit and not make it feel like they're nickel and diming you out of all your money.
At least just set it up as like lay it out as simple options like Netflix does, where you pay this much and you get standard definition and streaming on 2 devices or whatever. You pay this much, you get HD and 3 devices.
Yeah, like
Or
high-speed highways for the internet.
The
Net neutrality. Whopper
It's not what
neutrality.
I'm saying.
I mean, the only other thing is that sometimes it could be cool if they're like, hey, you know what? If you buy a full year of Xbox Game Pass for $100, we'll sell it to you for that instead of $120.
That'd
You
be
save
cool.
$20. That kind of thing, I think, would work for me
Yeah,
because then
well,
it's almost like you're
Roll it
effectively
into my Xbox Prime subscription.
you're effectively paying the same amount as you would for Best Buy. Like if it was a straight 20% off for Games Pass for a year, they'd probably sell me on it because then I'm like, well, I get the games digitally. I can play it on PC and Xbox, and I don't have to go to the store anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty great.
I kind of wonder how well the Gamer Club Unlocked has worked out for Best Buy.
Yeah,
Like
I
how
don't
much
know.
money they actually make.
I mean, I
on that.
refuse to buy games anywhere else.
I mean,
so
that yeah,
it's kind of
same.
working in their favor in that respect.
I'm just surprised. I mean, like Amazon's
pre-orders
Amazon
only.
copied that model somewhat.
But yeah, it's only
But,
pre-orders, whereas Best
I'm
Buy's
just
is any game.
wondering, like, is Microsoft going to try to do anything like that? That would seems like it would be beneficial.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or, I mean, I guess PlayStation just thinks they have no competition still, so they're probably not going to try anything like that.
Yeah.
Probably not.
But I mean, the Switch sold better than anything last year, so they do have competition of sorts.
Yeah, well, kind of. But, I mean, no, that's something that people have wanted Nintendo to do forever in terms of the Game Pass. They want the virtual console to just be a Netflix-style service, which I think sounds really smart and would be great for Nintendo to do, which is why they're not going to do it. But, so this is cool. It effectively is making me cancel my Sea of Thieves pre-order because I can just
I'll
play it for
be doing the
$10.
same.
But,
Because,
I mean, like most subscription services in general, what they're hoping is that you sign up and you forget about it and you just keep paying for it without even knowing,
Yeah.
which I did initially when Game Pass was released. I signed up for like the 14-day trial, completely forgot about it, and ended up booking 2 months of it without even knowing, like because I was too busy playing fucking Destiny.
most of the games that are part of the pass are old games that have already sold enough. So
Sorry, I
anything they
cursed.
make on top of what they've already made is
Whoops.
just extra profit.
yeah.
But
I don't know.
Bad John.
Yeah, whatever.
That's all right.
Only one. We'll try and limit it to one.
I'm sure
One
when
per
we,
episode.
when we talk about what happened in Sea of Thieves last night, I'm going to get worked up.
Yeah, we're
so.
gonna triggered. Hashtag
just gonna
triggered.
tell you
Yep.
now, cover your ears.
Yeah.
Earmuffs when we
Yeah,
talk
so Game
about Sea of
Pass is
Thieves.
cool. And everybody, if you have an Xbox, it probably benefits you to have Game Pass too.
Yeah.
So.
And I don't know if everybody knows exactly what it is, but these are not streaming games. It's just that
You're actually
it's an
downloading.
actual
They
normal copy
market
of the
it-
game. You just lose access to it if you don't pay your subscription.
It's been getting a lot of marketing push, so I'm hoping more people are kind of tuned into it at this point.
It certainly sets them apart from Sony, which is
for
what they
sure.
need right
Yeah.
now. So that's good.
Yeah. Next.
John.
Yeah, so Ubisoft announced a bunch of changes to Rainbow Six coming up with the new content drop that's going to be coming out. It's Operation
Chimera.
Is that what it is?
I think
Is that
so.
the official name?
I think so.
So they've got an Outbreak thing coming out it's a 4-week event that revolves around players trying to free civilians from an area suffering a mysterious infestation, probably zombies. A lot of the fun of Rainbow Six Siege comes from running around your preferred operator spec'd out in cool-looking cosmetic-only gear. Problem is, this Outbreak thing is bringing a different set of loot boxes that are only paid for with real money, and that's kind of the problem a lot of people are having is a bunch of salty dudes on Reddit are basically like, I've paid so much money in this game already, buying all the year passes and spending money on R6 credits, and you guys are just going to give away these loot boxes to, like, new players, and I don't get anything out of it because I'm a veteran player, blah, 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 blah. So a bunch of salty dudes are mad
I'm
about
not
it.
really understanding that argument.
Yeah, I don't get it either. It's just entitled people thinking they're owed something.
I just think loot boxes are dumb and no game
I do.
should
I
have
agree.
them,
But
I do think like that is my.
if it's cosmetic only, I don't
Yeah,
care.
no.
The fact that these veteran players are pissed off because they spent a ton of money already to get all the crap that they wanted out of the game. It's not like they didn't get anything. They got what they wanted by putting in money to get what they wanted.
They try to add something new as like a perk for somebody to buy in later.
Right.
in release, you know.
So these guys are all angry
That didn't
about
make
it.
much sense, but
They put up
whatever.
a huge like tiff on the subreddit, and one of the devs or one of the community managers actually came on Reddit and was like, "Sorry, we are listening to you guys." And then I wanted to bring this up specifically because like Ubisoft is the company now. Like I think Bungie needs to like take a note from, because their community involvement is massive, and like they're in it like. They're listening to everyone. They've addressed these problems like almost instantaneously. As soon as like the next day, they had a response to these people being pissed off.
Generally speaking, their business model is better.
Yeah, and so Bungie was basically, or not Bungie, definitely not Bungie. Ubisoft was basically like, you know, all of our current players are going to get an elite skin for Ash, blah blah blah. Like you're going to get all the newcomers that are concerned about introducing your friends to the game. They're going to keep the standard edition at $40. Originally, they were going to bump it up to $60 for this new pass, but they're going to keep it at $40 because. Why not? Like keep people coming into the game. It's a great game.
Yeah,
don't
$40
change
for
that.
a 2-year-old game or whatever.
I'm pretty certain that the standard edition on PC is like $15.
It's the starter edition for
Okay.
The
$15.
starter
It
edition is garbage.
commonly goes on sale for $8 or something like that. But they also address that people who are concerned about the starter edition, they are going to be changing the way that operates. So it actually will be beneficial for you to, like, if you wanted to introduce someone to this game but didn't want to make that full investment of $40, like the starter edition will be a better way to do so. And there's a bunch of other things they haven't talked about that they will be announcing as soon as the Rainbow Six League like starts up in the next couple of weeks. So expect those to come out and about. But the big thing I wanted to stress here is like this is a company that like we all gave a ton of crap to like over the past few years, and they've really turned the ship. You know, no pun intended with all the pirate talk and everything, but they've turned the ship around with a lot of this stuff lately.
Yeah.
And I want to give Ubisoft a lot
I
of
think we
credit.
started to talk about that with just how well they handled the new Assassin's Creed.
Oh,
too.
definitely. But this is
Actually
like
changing things.
They've really kind of weathered the storm that's come about in the waters.
the rough waters they've had to make it through.
They really bailed out some water from
Yeah,
their
it's
hull
true.
for sure.
But yeah, I just want to give Ubisoft some credit because again, like they're not only are they riding the ship with all their games, but they're also just the level of involvement they have in the community is something that should be like other companies should be keeping an eye on.
I will say their customer service is extremely slow, but they did take care of my problem.
Yeah. Well, you also addressed it through their customer service's slowest channel first, didn't you?
That's their only channel, as far as I know. I couldn't find a real phone number.
So the only thing that this kind of worries me a bit is the fact that like it got to the point where they released all of this news and they figured out it was a bad idea. Like they got to this point of this fever pitch for this game to come and get tons of people who never even touched it before to come and play it.
The only thing that bothers me out of the entire announcement, the original announcement, was them raising the price of the packages. That's it.
Exactly.
The rest of it, like I could care less about paid loot boxes for cosmetic gear, and the fact that other people are getting pissed off about it because we've been here since day one and we've paid a bunch of money into this and they're not going to give us what we want. You've already gotten what you wanted. Like, give up. Like you seriously, like what level? The gamers are so entitled for some reason that they feel they deserve more, even though they've already like you paid money to get the things you wanted. Like there's no deserving anything at that point.
It's just at the point of like, it's the same thing with Destiny of, okay, I could have spent the $60 plus another $35 or whatever on the expansion pass. And then I have to spend another $39.99 on the Taken King to be on that bleeding edge when months later, like a couple months after the Taken King comes out, you can get something that people spent $130 on for $60. It's a bummer, and they got to figure out a way to not make it feel like crap. Like, yes, the fact that you got to play it first and do all that stuff is great. But by the way, that also means you get to beta test all the bugs and shit and get the worst experience out of the game for paying first and most.
I understand what you're saying.
Like they need to.
That has nothing to do.
They can. What they can do is they can take 15 loot boxes and shut all of those guys up, and that's 2% of their revenue. Maybe, probably not even. It's not that hard.
Throwing me some loot boxes in Destiny 2 isn't going to make me play that
Destiny
again.
2 is another.
These are and aren't traditional loot boxes too. One of the cool things about this is that you will not receive any duplicate pieces, no matter how many you can. If you buy 50 of these operator packs or whatever the hell they're called, the outbreak packs, if you buy all 50 of them, you'll get all of the items,
and that's fine.
No duplicates. And the thing is, like, I understand that them bumping the price up by $20 for like the standard edition gets you 10 of those packs. You're essentially getting a $5 discount.
They're not doing that now anyways.
They're not doing it now anyways to keep everybody happy. But I think in scaling back the price of that, they shouldn't give away any loot packs. Like, just don't give them away.
No, but I'm saying, like, to avoid this entire thing, they just need to realize that, like, there is a group of people that were there from year zero and say, all right, we need to treat these guys a little bit better.
Well, they'll get a
because
cool emblem.
They've been here to make this
sequel.
game successful, you know? Like, it's not that
but
hard.
That's the thing. I get that, but none of the things that they're, like, the loot boxes they're giving out it's not that big of a deal. Like,
you don't care
cares?
about them, but this hit their bottom line so much that they came out and completely reversed the decision in hours. Like, they figured out this is bad news immediately when they could have just been like, here's 15 loot boxes. It's not that it's really not difficult. Like,
I'm really loot boxed out right now.
It's just not that hard to reward the people that have been playing your game and legitimately paid the most money to play it. To give them a fraction of, like, all of the stupid American flag skins that you've got out there.
I guess I just don't see it necessary.
Hey, I love my American
It's not
flag
necessary,
skin.
but
it's not like they didn't get anything out of the game already by paying the extra money that they paid. They got what they wanted out of the game already.
They didn't, but, like, those people could have left and never come back.
Yeah. No, I get it. I don't want to, like, I get what you're saying. I just...
It seems like a relatively simple problem to fix, other than, oh, hey, this is a PR disaster, hit the abort button.
Yeah.
Now they just kind of look stupid to me. Like, thank you for listening, but by the way, you guys are idiots. There's no way they couldn't have seen this coming after EA implodes this year.
Yeah.
It's really not that hard. Just have an ear to the ground.
But I think, again,
I know it's Ubisoft, so maybe they're French and they don't understand all the English
I also think because
on.
of the fact that it's strictly cosmetic items, there's not that big of a deal. I mean, it is a big deal. I get it.
The word loot boxes is now...
But it only being cosmetic, they probably saw it as not being as big of an issue because there is no performance-enhancing loot box or anything like that.
That's fine, except for the fact that literally everybody just hates loot boxes.
Yeah.
Period. Doesn't matter if they're cosmetics. Doesn't matter if it's got a free bag of fries from McDonald's in it. People just hate them.
I would love a loot box with fries in it.
Yeah, actually, French fries sound really good right now.
If fries just somehow popped out of my PlayStation every time I got a loot box, I would be ecstatic.
You
can do that with Uber Eats, man.
That requires more effort.
I'm not endorsing Uber Eats.
Anyway,
if you have to have McDonald's delivered to you, shame on you.
My news story is Nintendo Labo. They announced this a couple weeks ago, last week.
This blew my mind. I was like, what is this?
You got to watch the trailer because any words that I say about it are not going to make it sound as cool as it actually is.
It's cardboard.
It's essentially
and you control it with your Switch.
I don't understand how the games necessarily work, quote unquote, but essentially it's their cardboard peripherals that you make using your Switch.
Yeah. They're basically figuring out ways to employ the Joy-Con to be the brain of control for these larger appendages that are made out of cardboard.
Yeah.
So they showed things of, like, there's this piano that you can construct and all of the keys actually function. I don't know how they manipulate the Joy-Con to have the different notes.
I heard it was the infrared sensor.
Okay. So maybe the infrared sensors,
like how far you put the key
looking
down
at
or whatever.
tags at the end of the key or something like that.
That makes sense.
They're really stretching the imagination of their own system, which is incredible.
I guess stuff like the RC car or whatever moves because of the HD rumble is actually what causes it to move.
That's awesome. So like it's basically Nintendo figuring out interesting ways to employ like extensions on the Joy-Cons in like interesting different cardboard forms.
It's
And
pretty fascinating, but I don't know how well it's going to do.
$70 and $80. So there's $70 for the variety kit and then $80 for the robot kit. And this includes the game that these come with essentially, but it seems expensive for somebody to buy cardboard, but the fact of the matter is like everything I've been hearing, there are people our age down to like kids that are like, this looks awesome, which is a good sign.
Yeah.
Like it's Nintendo being pretty weird again.
Yeah.
And
very weird.
Yeah. So like I didn't expect this at all. I don't think anybody could.
I guess the robot kit's more elaborate. It actually has like pulleys and strings and stuff in that backpack.
Yeah, because you like not only do you have a backpack,
and it has a game with it.
Can you click on it?
Yeah. Not only do you have a backpack, but there's also a visor that you put the Switch in, and then like foot and hand things that you manipulate in order to control this robot that's on screen. And it looks now it's like incorporating.
That looks dangerous. You're supposed to put the Switch screen right in front of your face.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's like they're gonna have like Titanfall Switch edition or something like that.
That would be pretty awesome. Sign me up.
But no, it looks really cool. It looks like a very unique. Like this is essentially VR. It's not going to be 3D.
I just can't
but
wait
if you
to
look
see
at it,
two kids playing with this thing
the
next
blue,
to each other and accidentally
it's Rock'em
punching one
Sock'em
another.
Robots. The blue Joy-Con is in the head part.
Oh,
So
it's
it's
gonna like
using
massage
that-
your head.
No, it's using that to know what direction you're looking in. Essentially, like it. No, so that I mean, it's like a
Are you sure?
yeah,
Because
they-
it looks like the red one in the backpack also has the infrared sensor.
No, the
Or is
red
that-
the red one in the
oh,
backpack.
that's the shoulder button in the trigger. Never mind.
No, I
Right?
don't know. Either way, like
Regardless,
Yeah,
this
only
is,
one of them has an infrared sensor, right?
yeah, this
Yeah.
is this. So this infrared sensor looks like it's probably pointed inside, looking at the pulley system.
Yeah.
And then this one doesn't have the infrared sensor, I think. But you can still use the accelerometer to know where the head is
positioning.
moving.
Right.
yeah.
Right.
That's wild.
So it's like the amount of thought going into this, I think, is being robbed by the fact that it's mostly made out of cardboard.
And clearly, because it's coming out April 20th,
420.
we know the super high dev team that had nothing else to work on was behind this.
I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
think the Japanese smoke a lot of pot.
Well, this particular team does. They're based in Colorado or something.
Nintendo of America, Colorado.
It's like have cardboard peripherals.
Dude, this way we can like recycle and save the planet too while we're playing games, bro.
Anyway, I think it's really cool. I wonder, does the Best Buy discount GCU
does
apply?
Nice.
So
20% off cardboard.
we should probably like make a video of us putting this crap together and playing with it.
Yeah,
That'd be
absolutely.
fun.
Just do it live on stream, but it just
Yeah.
ends up being us building all the crap
I'm
and then
kind
being
of
like
sad we won't have Labo stuff to play with at PAX.
packs. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
thing is, like, okay, it's made out of cardboard or whatever, but you could probably buy like corrugated plastic and make like better quality crap.
Possibly.
You know,
You just need to 3D print all of these. I think
3D print all the
Yeah.
pieces.
There's going to be somebody on Thingiverse that's like, I modeled out all the Nintendo Labo
Here's
stuff.
the
So you
Labo
can
piece.
Yeah,
3D
I mean,
print
they
it
it.
all
probably
clip
has
together.
to be a certain weight to work exactly.
Yeah, that's true. Because
like it's intended.
it's easier to move cardboard with the vibration than it would be to move something that's more dense.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's really cool. People should check it out. Nicole thinks it's really dumb. That was like,
That sounds about right.
I think anybody who plays video games and doesn't find this to be extremely innovative and interesting, there's something wrong with
I think
you.
people who maybe didn't enjoy their childhood enough think this is stupid.
People who don't
I
have an
know.
imagination.
I'll let
Yes.
Nicole know.
Oh, I don't really. I'm not saying that that's the case for
I'm
her,
just kidding.
but I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, I think it.
I'd be interested to see what else you can do with it. Like, is there going to be some kind of like as a it'd be cool if it was almost like a Mario Maker sort of thing, where like you as a person could cut out your own peripherals and make your own things that aren't even like ones they have, but then
that's
like
the next level, I'm sure.
program it to do whatever you want it to do. Like, I don't know. I mean, it would
I'm
just
so sad with when my brain just took all of that, but I could see them coming out with like the creator version,
yeah.
you know, and that allows you to like not only it comes with this pack of cardboard and it's just cardboard
It's
that's
just blank
not,
cardboard.
There's nothing on it. There's
Crayola-
no perforations.
Some
or anything.
Crayola markers.
And they ship it to you in a cardboard box.
Yeah.
Crayola markers that are
No,
like the exact
no.
Pantone colors of the Switch
They send you
controllers
the
and
game
stuff.
in like a 3 foot by 3 foot by 3 foot box, and it's just the cartridge like in the center of the box.
And then you have to use
And
the
then you-
box to like make stuff.
It's actually really environmental.
It comes with an X-Acto knife and some like Crayola markers.
We're running
and
a bit long
some
on this,
tape.
by the way.
Yeah,
I'm sure
that's
we're going
alright.
to talk about Sea of Thieves forever.
But yeah, Nintendo Labo, it's cool. Check it out. We're gonna talk about Sea of Thieves.
Yeah. So the Sea of Thieves beta is available for anybody until the 31st now. I think they extended it. If you have a pre-order, you can pre-order it on whatever channel
and
you'd
then,
like.
and then when you're done with the beta, you can cancel your pre-order and get the Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sea of Thieves is available on Xbox One as well as PC. How do we want to start?
It's by Rare, the people who brought you GoldenEye for the N64.
And Conquer.
Perfect Dark.
I
Conquer,
think.
Perfect Dark.
Viva Pinata.
Yes.
Which is also
All of the
super
Rare
cool.
replay games on the Xbox One.
Yeah.
What's the
Banjo and Kazooie.
Is
Yeah.
that them?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, so the only issue I have with this game,
Well,
as of right now,
let's-
is that it takes fucking forever to load.
Yeah. Well, it's a beta. They're figuring it out.
But it's mostly the matchmaking has just been garbage.
Yeah.
So, and
Yeah.
I blame that on just overstressed servers
trying to
and
get
things like
into
that.
the
Getting
same
into a
match
match
together.
sucks.
Let me. So it's a first-person game. You play as a pirate that is either going out solo or with a crew of other pirates to man a ship.
And no matter what you do, you are hideous. You're
Yeah.
the ugliest pirates
Well,
in
I'm
the world.
hoping that there's a player creation, but I have a feeling every character is going to be hideous anyway.
Yeah,
So-
I would purposely make my character as hideous as possible. if
It's
they're-
first person. There's combat mechanics. There are sailing mechanics. There are drinking mechanics. There are cannon mechanics. There's all kinds of everything that you think.
Social justice
There's-
mechanics.
There's
anything you'd think that would
there's
be
music playing mechanic.
in a
Anything that a
pirate
pirate
simulator,
Does. Yes.
like it's there.
Yep.
And it's done really well.
Yes.
The weather is very well simulated for sure.
The whole aesthetic of the game is fantastic. It has this slight
very
realism to like the physics of the water, but it's very cartoony. Like, Brian kept talking about wanting to go back and play the Monkey Island games. It just like has that like aesthetic to it. The slightly oversaturated colors are amazing. Like the
Mhm.
models are
really
really-
nice at the HDR too.
really well done. The music is cool. One of my favorite musical things is when you actually get the wind to hit the sails in the right angle.
Yeah.
There's this slight music cue that kicks in, and it's literally just like a second long, and you're just like, oh, that was cool. Like,
Mhm.
and then you just get ripping on the water, and it's awesome.
When you play music when you're drunk, it sounds like a bad trip or something.
yeah, when you're
like,
because you can drink grog and get drunk as balls, and then you can play music
you
and
can
you
throw
up on
you can
people.
catch
You
your
can
vomit
catch
in
your
a bucket
and throw it at people.
You can sober people up by splashing water on
I
their
didn't
face.
know that.
Also, by the way,
That's
I learned
amazing.
about that.
It's like it's very much a simulation based sandbox, but it's pirate.
It's basically
Everything.
Brian's life.
And they don't tell you anything when you
No.
play this beta.
They don't.
It's
But
kind of
it's
cool
all
though. Like
stuff you can figure out. It's interesting. It's very well
I
designed.
wouldn't necessarily call it intuitive, but it's not like it's not.
It's not counterintuitive.
Yeah, it's not oblique. It's not. You know.
No, they
It's
do
somewhere
some-
in between intuitive and
I mean, like one of
counterintuitive.
the coolest things I figured out on my own was when I had to count paces for a treasure, and you pull out your compass, and you're like, okay, I need to point southwest, and you point southwest, and you're like, cool. And then like you just walk, and you're like, I don't know how many paces that was. So I was just counting like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then
Yeah.
like boom, I'm at the spot, dig,
That's
and
paces.
maybe I'm there. But if you actually hold up the compass, your controller vibrates your paces.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you hold the
didn't know
R
that.
trigger, it'll bring the
Guess I'm
compass
just
up
really
to your
good
face.
at counting.
Your pacing is just on
It's
point.
on point.
But yeah, you can pull up you hold the compass up to your face, and as you walk, it counts paces for you by vibrating the controller in your steps, which is super cool. Something I didn't realize right off the bat, but was very interesting. I love the voting system to vote people into the brig because we've run into having a fourth blueberry in our party that is just awful every time, and we have to lock them in the brig. One guy actually sank our ship last night, and it was awful.
Very quickly, though, almost impressively.
I don't know how
I don't
he did
even
it.
like. He had a bomb in his pants.
He
or
must have
something.
been throwing boulders at the side of the boat somehow.
Because we had a it was a full 4-person galleon. Those can take a lot of water before they sink.
Yeah.
And,
he sank it in seconds.
yes.
I mean, whatever he did,
We were like, we got to shore.
impressive,
and I was like, guys,
nonetheless.
And then, bam, it was
There's
gone.
no ship. The ship is sinking.
And then there was a lot of waiting around on the island, waiting for Alex
Pull
to
up Sea of Thieves on your monitor there, so it shows up
Alex
in
to
the feed.
get back to
Well,
us.
it's
to pick
not.
us up.
That thing
Oh,
is.
mine must
I mean,
not
I
have
can.
updated here then. Yeah. Anyways, so I'm not sure what else to say about Sea of Thieves other than I'm really blown away by this beta, and I can't wait to play the full game. It is a little stripped down. You're only doing like treasure hunting right now, but Brian, you had mentioned that there's going to be like
there's 2 other
monster missions or
companies that
something.
you can work for.
Okay.
And one specializes in monster hunting, and the other one has something to do with trade routes.
Okay. Yeah, so you'd be transporting stuff from like one island
Probably
to the
yeah.
other,
Probably
and like
just like parcel delivery, basically.
fighting off other pirates and things along the way or whatever.
Our experience dealing with other people in the game has been rough so far, but it's fun.
Yeah.
There's
It's
anything goes, really. Like, there's no friendly fire or whatever when you're on the same crew, but you can.
that's how stupid I
definitely-
look when I'm playing that.
Yeah.
Damn it.
So-
if you did, it's a good thing you have facial hair. Or people would see like.
So here's the
jowl.
thing. This is a beta, and obviously the features aren't completely built out yet. But there's part of me having the experience that all of us did with Destiny 1 that is worried that we get the game and this is the game right now. I hope that's not true, because right now, yes, it's fun to go and get treasure with your friends and stuff like that, but it's not.
There's the ship.
Yeah, there it is sinking.
It's not necessarily. It's not necessarily a fulfilling gameplay loop. Right now, you go and get these gold missions, and then you go and find the treasure. And finding the treasure is fun. You bring it back, and you get coins. And with those coins, you
get
can
reputation as well.
You,
And
yeah, you
cool
get
clothes,
reputation as
but
well.
Alex doesn't care about cool clothes.
Yeah, once again,
I do.
that's why I don't care about loot boxes that are cosmetics. But
Be great
you
if
know,
the treasure chests were loot boxes.
it would be nice to have things to put that gold to that actually matter to the gameplay. Like, are we going to be buying bigger ships? I don't know.
You can buy a shovel to shovel faster with. I know that.
Okay.
So there are things that affect gameplay. You can buy better weapons, so combat gets better.
Yeah, the blunderbuss is in the game right now. That's why we were getting wrecked by those
Well,
people
and
the other
that's
day.
so. What I'm saying is, like, for what's in there right now, yeah, there's a shovel. Do you know if the shovel actually does make it faster?
No, I didn't have a chance to buy it. Actually,
So I don't.
It
we
might
don't.
just make it look shiny.
Yeah, because it's just kind of gold plated because you're working for the gold guild or whatever. But so there might be a shovel that makes it faster to dig for things, and there might be other things that filter into the gameplay. Like, I don't know if any of the musical things that you can buy actually make you better at playing the music or not. But even that's
I
not
don't know.
important to the gameplay. Like, I just want to know that there's going to be something for me to aspire towards. Do I get to get bigger ships? Are there going to be more than 4 types of weapons?
well, that's
I
the thing.
just-
Is this going to play out like based on our interactions last night? Towards the end of our stream, if we build up this really awesome big ship as a crew that we've spent a lot of time and money, in-game money, like building up and having, we get this really sweet set of sails and stuff. Someone comes along and sinks the ship or whatever because we run into another group of pirates. Are we then like SOL? Do we lose all that?
I
or
doubt
like
it. I don't think it's going to be like hardcore like Eve Online.
yeah, Pirate Eve.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's just a lot of questions still, and I'm looking forward to answering some of them by playing the final game. I'm just worried about what answers I'm going to get.
Yeah, I mean,
I think
I don't deny that I'm in the same boat as you.
so.
But
and
we're going to be paying $10 a month for the Game Pass, so
Exactly.
if we are somewhat disappointed, it's not going to be a big deal.
with the function of our podcast where we try to play games and new games coming out every 2 weeks, like have no problem paying $10 to play this game for a month, and then maybe coming back to it later on down the line when there's more features and more stuff in it.
Right.
But right now, like, we all may sound very like high on this game right now and totally down to pre-order or buy it or whatever, but I want to couch the expectations that it's going to be more than the 5 hours, 6 hours of fun that we've had with it in the beta, because I don't know yet. Like, if we boot this up and it's this, I would be pissed paying $60 for it. If the matchmaking is this bad, if you can't drop in, drop out.
Yeah, I mean,
like-
they do need to tweak the matchmaking quite a bit. The only other complaint I have is I would like the combat to have a little more finesse to it. Like,
Yeah.
for
as
sure.
as a pirate, I mean, come on.
Yeah,
like,
sword fighting should be an art, and it's
take Hook as an
just
example.
really-
Like I want to feel like I'm Rufio, you know? Like, I want to like you know, I want to fight Captain Hook and like be able to do flips and stuff, I guess. I don't really know. Like, I just want it to be a little bit cooler instead of me just like mashing the button hoping that like the skeleton dies, you know, like
the shooting feels right to me, because those kind of games or those types of firearms should not
Not be
be
accurate.
very
yeah, like
accurate.
there is no
kind of
iron
unwieldy.
sight. There, you know, there's
Yeah.
it's just kind of like you point and shoot and hope for the best and
There's
like
not even really a crosshair on
Well,
yeah, there's nothing.
The crosshair on the
Rifle.
sniper rifle is
There's a crack in the
cracks
lens, yeah.
lens, yeah.
So I will say learning the mechanics of sailing was so satisfying.
Sailing is
and
fun.
just working together as a team to run that 4-person boat's pretty wild.
It's a little frustrating if like nobody's out there to call rocks for you and like
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
guide you around. But that's the thing, needing to be that attentive to it all is awesome. So that's
And then
my
if
other
people
thing.
screw up too much, you just put them in the
If you are not able to
Brig.
play this with a crew of friends, I'm also not sure how much fun the game is. It is
Although
fun to play.
apparently
I would
solo,
also-
it is fun.
It is
right?
fun to play solo,
Solo is fun.
but there is so much more to the experience when you play it with other people.
Yeah. When you can get pissed at someone for not cutting the wheel soon enough or dropping the anchor or whatever, like it's funny.
Or Brian and I walk up to drop the anchor at the same time, so he drops it and I catch the anchor
Yeah.
and then I start wheeling it back up again.
Yeah.
And then we smash into the dock. Yeah,
Fun.
I would also I hope that they would give us the option of playing like PvP or PvE sort of settings, just because like last night, like we were having a lot of fun until
I mean, it took us hours to get those 6 chests, and then
these two guys rolled in and just
Yeah.
it's like, how do they even know to be
steamrolled
there?
us.
So the way that this game works right now, you go to the vendor that sells these what are they called? Voyages?
Voyages, yeah.
You buy a voyage, you throw it down on the table on the ship. Everybody on the crew votes on what voyage they want to do if you have
Yeah.
multiple ones. And then you go and carry it out. You get, like, once you activate a voyage, you get a map related to that voyage. And some of these voyages have 3 chapters to them. You could be bringing home anywhere from 3 to 6 chests that you can go and turn in for money.
Yep.
And so the idea that you could be spending all of your time doing all of this and having a great time along the way doing it all, but then you end up getting screwed because people come and kill you to steal your stuff. I get that is an interesting mechanic for the game.
But not everyone's gonna want to play like that.
After last night, I was like, man, I don't know that I could play this game long term, because if that
If that happened to me every time I played, I'd be pissed.
if this starts getting like if it becomes the point where there's like a large sect of people playing this game that are just there to grief you and steal your crap,
Sea of Thieves Dark Zone.
yeah, that's true. It's basically the Dark
There
Zone
should
from
be
the
a
Division.
certain area in the sea that is
I
PvP
think-
enabled.
I think they
The
should
Bermuda
allow
Triangle,
you
perhaps.
to drop in and drop out. Like WoW had PvP and PvE servers. You should be able to kind of go back and forth if
Well,
you
WoW
want to.
also had certain zones that were PvP.
Yeah, like there were battlegrounds in WoW that you could like, even if
Yeah.
you're in a PvE server, like you could go to a battleground and join like a giant fight and
Yeah.
like that was cool, you know, and that would be cool to have something similar to this. But I also just in general, like, if I'm playing solo, there's no way in hell I want to be fighting against other people. Like, I just want to roll by myself and like go hunt treasures or hunt monsters
stand a chance against
or whatever.
Other people or
yeah,
whatever.
for sure. I mean, it's hard enough with like fight.
We
like,
couldn't even stand up to 2 people.
There were 4 of us,
as
and
a group of 4.
Yeah, we couldn't handle 2 people because for whatever
guns.
reason. But I think it would be in their best interest to offer you the opportunity to play PvE or PvP. So
yeah, I agree. Because that was
it would be super
last
it'd be
night.
super frustrating, like, to get on every time and like know, like, oh, I love certain aspects of this game, but then you load up your ship with treasures and you're like, I better go turn these in, and then you're like, I don't want to turn them in because I know as soon as I get close to that island, these guys are gonna come get me. But then they see your boat on the horizon, and you're like, let's go to them. You know,
Yeah.
like you sent that story out on the Discord about the guys who were like, hey, we saw your boat from a distance and we went out and we shot you out of the water and sank your ship.
Well, no,
they were communicating with a lantern.
There was a smaller boat of 2 that saw a boat of 2 that was being chased by a galleon out in the sea, and they're like, oh,
storm.
we got to go and help these people out.
Yeah.
And so they ran out there and like not only ran defense to distract from the other group that was out trying to outrun, but they also ended up sinking the ship together, which is fantastic. Like, it's cool that stuff is possible in the game.
Right.
But
not everyone is going to want
there
that.
needs to be a way to kind of say, I don't want to partake in that today.
Yeah, like maybe you can put a white flag on your mast or something like that to say you're not going to be competitive, and then like if you want to be competitive, you throw a red flag or a black flag or something just to signal that, like, and it not only like by you putting that up does it just not include you in that kind of activity, but like, you know, it tells everyone else you're not playing
like
that way too.
Isn't there like a ghost mode or something in some game?
Yeah, like this commercial or whatever in the middle of my stream.
Isn't there a ghost mode about like in a game where you can kind of not partake? God, what am I thinking of? Maybe it's Minecraft or something.
I don't know much about Minecraft.
But I don't know.
Where
like,
you
there's
just almost act as an observer.
Not as an observer, but like it essentially allows you to run through the like PvP areas and still do things in those areas, but you can't be killed by other people, essentially. Like if you put
that's how the division is now.
If you put up that white flag, then essentially if anybody tries to shoot at you, it just sails right through you.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I'm trying
I can't
to think of
remember
what game
that
it is.
was, but yeah,
But
I totally remember.
Having that ability to be like, all right, I'm physical in this world and can interact with other people.
GTA has that.
Yes, GTA does. So it basically you can just say like, oh, I'm
the
getting
game with the most griefing of any game.
I'm getting griefed. I'm gonna flip myself into ghost mode or whatever it is, and make sure that I can't be bothered.
I think they called it passive mode.
Yeah, something like that. Like there should be an ability to do that in this game that would then allow you to not interact with the PvP parts of things, because. And that's the thing. They could also make it so that there are PvP activities that like they should maybe be more rewarding. Like maybe if you steal somebody else's chest, it's worth a lot more money.
Yeah.
And that way
it would be enticing for you as a single player to maybe want to delve into that aspect of play, but you don't necessarily have to. It's not required to. It's not, you know, like you don't. That would be cool to have that kind of thing.
to gently push you towards doing it, but not necessarily require you.
Yeah,
to do
but
it.
I definitely don't. I don't want it to be like Eve, where like you build up all this awesome stuff, and then all of a sudden like somebody destroys it, and then you're just like,
no,
meh.
that would suck pretty bad. But no,
you don't want your $300,000 like ship destroyed or whatever.
Right, exactly. Like $1 million pirate battle, like they keep having in Eve or whatever now.
They have said that this beta is all of this content is completely unrelated to the content in the actual full release.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
So I'm wondering if like land masses are going to change, or these voyages just period won't be in here, or what it's going to what that actually means for the game. But and that makes me hopeful that yes, like the blacksmith shop and the things that aren't necessarily in the game They're there, but they're
I
not
hope the
staffed.
NPCs actually talk occasionally.
Yeah.
Well, and it would be really cool. Like there's so many different things they can do with this too. Like it'd be pretty awesome if they actually like they had like the American Settlers version of Sea of Thieves, where like you have to come over from like Europe and like create trade routes between Europe and the new
we
colonies
don't want
or whatever.
the
and,
exact American settlers thing with slave trade and all that.
Yeah.
No,
That would
not
be
like
cool.
that. But I just mean like it'd be cool if they ended up like modding in like real world stuff to
Yeah.
where you could actually like sail the world essentially, you know, in some aspect.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, I think you just need to play a different game.
no, I want to play it in this game.
They could make like a, what if they made an extension of Sea of Thieves that was more like a Civilization type game?
I hope
yeah.
some other games are inspired by the creativity of multiplayer options that this game has brought about, though. Like, I've never seen anything quite like this game as far as how the co-op works and what you actually have to put into it.
In terms of like activities that actually require you to collaborate and
yeah.
communicate.
Like
Yeah, it's
sailing a
kind of-
ship is amazing.
Sailing a ship is
it's
actually
incredibly unique.
it's
to-
the
to
most
games.
satisfying Destiny raid that's
Yeah.
ever been created.
Getting hit with some cannonballs and being like, "Yo, you go patch the holes while I'll bail out the water,"
Yeah.
you know. And then you got two people up on
Like,
on
I
the
want a
deck
space
that are
version of
one's
this.
steering and the other one's launching cannonballs at the other ship that just hit you. Like
Space of Thieves. No, that doesn't sound
it's just cool.
Well, and even like the idea, like you can literally pull off a crazy Ivan from Firefly in this game and be like, all right, guys, I'm going to turn the wheel hard to the left so we can get away from the guys that are behind us. We all need to drop the anchor right now, go and pull it back up immediately because it'll turn us really hard.
Yeah.
And then we can sail in the opposing direction. Like,
The storm
you can
was something.
legitimately pull that off in this game, and that's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody's actually watching the video of it right now, but we were literally in a hurricane at this point. Like,
Yeah. So there was a moment last night, like we said, the rando just destroyed our boat, so we threw him in the brig. But what ended up happening is you get a mermaid that spawns that will take you back to the port where your boat respawns. So John and Brian had 2 treasure chests that we didn't want to lose. They were standing on the island. I used the mermaid to get back to our ship, and then I got in our huge 4-person ship and
that lightning strike.
and tried to command it back to where they were, but this huge storm was in the way. And I got into the storm and I was like, this is okay. I can kind of see where I'm going.
I wish
I'm-
we had your footage.
Yeah, your
Yeah.
stream would have been awesome.
It's like, this is okay. I can see where I'm going. I'm trying to angle. I know where the island is. And then all of a sudden, my compass, I lose my compass. It starts spinning in the storm.
yeah.
'Cause it's
And
an
then
electrical
also,
storm.
like, when you're in a storm, you actually have to fight the wheel too, because the wheel will start turning on its own
Oh.
because of the seas. But it got to a point where it was turning so hard that it threw me off of the wheel. Like, it would not let me take control of the wheel anymore. And that's
Wow.
when the boat capsized and flipped upside down. And it was awesome.
So they've got dynamic weather on point in this game.
Oh,
Yeah.
is what it
absolutely.
boils down
Yeah.
to. And just the day.
Definitely the best water physics I've ever encountered, too.
Yeah, the dynamic weather's cool. The day-night cycle's really nice. The sunsets are incredible.
Mhm.
Like
We
I
had
mean,
one weird, like, sunrise through the end of a storm. I think it was, like,
I
right
think it was
after
this one. Yeah.
That was really awesome.
But yeah, so we've got 2 hours, I think, of gameplay up on the Twitch channel. It's mislabeled at the moment. I'm gonna go and fix it after the show with
Yeah.
Sea of Thieves or something like that. But it's pretty incredible. And if you're hearing this right now, there should be a couple more days of the beta left. If you want to try it out, throw down the money on Amazon. Amazon doesn't even charge you until it gets shipped, so you should get the code, and then you
Gotcha.
can actually
Like I'm
plug the
intrigued.
code in immediately.
I want to buy it just to have it anyways. Like the Game Pass thing is cool. I would like to actually support this game because I think it could be so much more over time.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
I don't want to mislead Microsoft by just buying into Game Pass. Like I want this to be like a well-supported game for them. I think it's something that it's a franchise they could really like jump on. This could be like their answer to like a Destiny or like a Division. You know, like it could be that sort of thing for them. And they kind of need it. And I don't want to just like buy Game Pass and be like, oh, I'll play it for a couple of months and put it away. Like I'd rather give them that $60.
But like
up
I
front.
said,
I know, like you said, even if we get 2 games out of Game Pass a year, like it pays itself off. And
not
you
only
save
that it
some
pays
money.
itself off, but you're giving them the same money, you know? Like
Right,
you're giving them
right.
the same money for the same thing. And I am sure they can see who is downloading what with Game Pass.
Right.
so they will know, oh my God, Sea of Thieves is huge on Game Pass. We need to do more with this. Like that'll play into it. But I get what you're saying. I'm coming more at it from I don't need to spend all of my money on video games.
I don't either.
I
Like,
did last
trust
year.
me, I don't need to spend. Like, I have to pay for a wedding this year, so no, I
Exactly.
don't need to spend any more money on video games. As a matter of fact, I got yelled at for spending money on video games. So, but because there's so many other things you could spend your money on. Anyways,
At least you didn't buy the Inpatient.
I did not.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good call.
But yeah, I just I want to support them because I want this game to be something great, and it already is awesome, and I want it to continue. I just want it to continue down that path.
Here comes that sunrise or sunset.
Yeah, if you're watching the video right now on the stream, it's pretty rad. But yeah, it's just yeah, we were playing music. I forgot about that. I wish we had the sound right now.
Yes, we really enjoy playing music to people in the brig and throwing.
We
buckets
lock
of
them up.
vomit at them.
Yeah, we threw up.
You
all
should
over
have
that
seen.
guy.
You remember last night, John, when you were on the map and you were like, "You guys need to go away," because Brian and I were playing music. I was just, I had my right stick pointed all the way up, so I was looking at the ceiling, and I was just, I had my left stick held on right, and I was just running in circles around the map table as you were sitting there trying to figure out what was going on. Like it was so fun. Like it's fun to be annoying in the game. It's fun to actually cooperate in the game. It's fantastic.
And then the dynamic clouds,
There
so
comes
cool.
Alex.
So cool.
Yeah, it looks like the Harry Potter effect when.
Well, and that's the thing. I watched a
jeez.
full storm form at one point. That was just incredible. It's just
Yeah.
so they did such an amazing job with this game. This
I'm glad it's finally coming
stream
out.
doesn't really do it any justice. I don't think. You really should be playing it.
Well, and here's the thing. I remember watching E3 videos and being like, "This looks cool, but I don't feel like it's going to look and
Well,
function."
nobody
like
really
this.
understood
Then-
how it was going to function.
I was like, "This looks cool, but I don't feel like it looked." It looked like, yeah, I can play music or whatever, but why would I do that? And and
be
also
annoying.
the whole compass thing that popped up. Like they actually show the compass pacing thing when you press the R trigger to hold the compass up. They showed that in trailers, and when I did that the first time, I was like, "This looks and feels exactly like that E3 trailer."
Yeah.
Like they are delivering on the promise of what they showed,
Right.
and now there's.
I think it's pretty incredible. So, Sea of
Yeah.
Thieves.
Sea of Thieves.
Check
It's
it out.
awesome. So, anyways, yeah, I think that's pretty much it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're good.
Did we have any other feedback or anything?
Nico did write an email to us a while back. I don't know if you responded to him personally, John.
I don't
or not.
remember.
Let me pull it up
but
real
also
quick.
Matt Bo in our Discord chat yesterday while playing with Webby on PUBG said that he would like us to cover Monster Hunter. So
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to happen. I'm sorry.
I'll consider possibly picking it up just to see, or maybe we can have someone on who already has it who wants to talk about it.
Like the fact that we literally don't know
Monster Hunter scares me. Okay?
more than
I
one
was-
person who's buying
Everything
it.
I've read about it is that this is the great jumping on point for new players.
Everything
I also
I've read is that
it's
nothing has
not
changed.
any more friendly to new
Yeah.
players than any of the other games.
Yeah. Nico wrote us an email. It said, I think this was just to us, but we can probably talk about it. I have PS4 Pro, PSVR, and a $20 gift card to the PlayStation Store. I prefer to play games with my friends rather than single player, but it's not a super hard preference. You guys have talked about a ton of fun sounding games lately, and I was hoping you could help point me in the right direction for a new game to buy. Is it better to wait for a game soon to come out? I'm not opposed to spending more than just the $20 gift card. Should I just buy Rainbow Six Siege already?
Yes.
He also said, feedback, it's great that you're trying to swear less, only because it's funnier hearing you trying not to swear. I wish you guys loved Overwatch a fraction of the amount that I do. I could write pages about how awesome that game is, but I won't. And as a fan of your podcast, I request that during the next Overwatch free weekend that you all play on PS4 with me, then I can die happy.
I request that you guys play on PC with me.
So thank you, Nico. It's a free weekend. You could download it on PS4.
Yeah.
Just
So
fine.
yeah, do both.
A good $20 game for VR.
If you wanted to try out that Static Institute of retention's the word that I forgot. That is fun, and it does have some 2-player stuff. Like if you're down for puzzle solving, I think that might be something that you could check out. But other than that, I mean, there's so much out there. I'm trying to think of what Nico would really enjoy. I think he'd have fun playing Rainbow Six with us.
Well, he's got the aim controller now for VR too. Was he mainly asking about VR games in that?
He didn't. Recall. He just kind of says, "You guys have talked about a lot of games." He says, "I prefer playing games with my friends rather than single player, but it's not a super hard preference."
Yeah, I mean, like Nico. I don't know how competitive you are necessarily. You play Overwatch, obviously, so you have a little bit. But Rainbow Six is definitely super competitive, and it's something like we love playing all the time.
It's so much fun.
It is.
We were just playing Friday, was it?
Last night.
Or last night.
Yeah,
last night we played.
Probably both, because that's how it has been.
We play all the time.
And then also, Ghost Recon Wildlands is getting a bunch of updates and stuff too, so that might be something. I think it's on sale right now still.
Yeah, and you can co-op that one. There's also some PvP, but I haven't tried it out.
Wildlands is a great co-op game.
And there's rumor that it's getting a battle royale mode.
That would be pretty incredible. Yeah,
well, yeah.
I saw Mike's
that would be
message.
Cool.
Yeah, so we not too sure about that, but yeah, I mean, there's so many good games out this year. I would definitely, if you like more difficult games, the Surge is constantly on sale now. It seems like on PSN, and Surge is great. Hence the Surge sodas that we picked up today.
I feel like I saw him playing Prey.
There's so many good games, Nico. It's really hard to point you in the right direction, but I know, again, you like competitive, so you might dig Rainbow Six quite a bit. Definitely look into that.
Headlander is free.
You should get Headlander, Brian.
I have Headlander already.
Good.
I already bought it for like a couple bucks.
I wish it was for PS4, PSVR as well, but
yeah. Anyways, that is all, I think.
Yeah. What's coming out in the next couple? Shadow of the Colossus will be out before our next episode. So,
really?
Yes.
That's soon. I'm not
February
ready
6th.
Right on.
I think that's
cool.
Yeah. So I will certainly be talking about that. I hope. I know you're looking forward to it.
Yeah,
Brian.
I'll pick it up.
John, you should probably just rent it because it'll be pretty cheap to rent.
Yeah.
Like I don't think you need to buy it. And to be honest, I will probably play it to talk about it and like it a lot, but I've already beaten it, so then I could just hand it off if you want to finish it.
Right.
So
okay, well, I'll keep that in mind too.
Well, I can hand it off to one of you.
Well, we can fight about it after the show.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
so
also, it's only like $39.99 plus
really?
GCU,
Okay.
I think. So you could get it for
cool.
That's not so bad. I think I have some Best Buy bucks too.
$32.
I probably do.
I know I have at least a $10 gift certificate to Best Buy.
They're probably due to expire soon as well.
March.
Anyway,
if you want to follow us on social media or see other places you can listen to or watch the show, check out MidwestGameNerds.com/links. As always, we do appreciate your feedback, which you can send to MidwestGameNerds@gmail.com. And don't forget to follow us on Twitch as well as rate and review us on your favorite podcatcher. I did a Photoshop contest on the Instagram account last week, and Zach was kind enough to send me the most amazing image that I've ever seen on the internet, to be honest with you. So I'm going to post another one of those green screen shots for people to green screen some more stuff behind me. If you do send one in, my favorite one that I pick and will repost, you will get a T-shirt sent to you from the Midwest Game Nerds podcast. So keep an eye on the Instagram account. And, I think that's pretty much it. Alex, you got the Alienist Recap podcast coming up?
Yeah, so Nick and I started the Alienist Recap podcast. The first episode of TNT's The Alienist aired last week on Monday. The second one is coming up this next Monday, and we will have a second recap episode out on the Wednesday afterwards. You can check it out on the TNT app if you have a cable login for sure. But it's pretty interesting, and I'm excited to talk about it with Nick some more. So please check that out in your favorite podcatcher. And also, the Horror Movie Yearbook guys put out their Class of 1982 episode back on the 19th. I'm not certain what's coming this week. But yeah, something should be out at some point soon. So, yeah.
Keep an eye on that.
Check out those other shows.
Pay attention to social media for us, and we'll let you know what we're going to cover next. All right. Thanks again for listening, guys. Peace.